Have you ever spoken the truth and within seconds someone's words cut you down? Not because you were wrong, but because their words were sharp like a hidden blade, stealing your strength. A faint smile, an innocent tone, and suddenly you feel smaller, powerless. This is the art of manipulation. Words designed not to inform, but to disarm. And today, we'll expose it. The 7 most dangerous phrases manipulators use to silence you, and more importantly, how a Stoic would respond. Because once you carry calmness, once you hold clarity, no liar, no deceiver can ever control you again. Stay with me until the end, because each phrase is a trap you may face tomorrow. And if you find value here, join us. Subscribe to the Stoic Habit, not for me, but for yourself, so you never miss the wisdom that sharpens your mind and strengthens your spirit. Phrase 1. You're overreacting. You're overreacting. 3 simple words. At first, they sound harmless, almost like concern. But in truth, they are the very first bullet in the game of gaslighting. Imagine this. You discover something unusual, a number that doesn't add up in the company books, a text message that doesn't feel right in your partner's phone. You raise a question, and what do you hear? Relax, you're imagining things. Don't make such a big deal. In that moment, your awareness, the very radar that warns you of danger, is turned against you. The manipulator doesn't have to prove you wrong. They just need to make you doubt yourself. And doubt is poison. Mark Zuckerberg once admitted that his obsessive attention to small details was what allowed him to seize opportunities others ignored. But imagine if he had listened when people told him, "You're overreacting." Facebook would never have been built. Innovation itself often begins as what others dismiss as too much. Seneca reminded us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Manipulators understand this truth all too well. They plant seeds of doubt in your imagination until you begin to believe that you are the problem, until you silence yourself before they ever need to. But here is the Stoic response. Do not get angry. Do not rush to defend yourself. Instead, breathe, and with calm clarity say, I'm not overreacting, I'm observing, and perhaps it's my observation that makes you uncomfortable. Just one sentence. Steady, clear, unshakable. And suddenly, the mask begins to slip. Because here's the secret. Those who value truth will never mock your awareness. Only those hiding something fear it. And when you refuse to hand them your doubt, when you stand firm in clarity, their weapon shatters in their hands. So the next time someone throws at you, you're overreacting. Remember, your awareness is not a weakness. It is your strength. And in the eyes of a Stoic, it is the very shield that keeps you free. Phrase 2. Why are you being so sensitive? On the surface, it sounds like care. But beneath the softness lies the sharp edge of dismissal. This is not concern. This is a quiet dagger meant to strip you of your greatest defense, your awareness. Picture this. You're at work, and you point out that a decision feels unethical. Instead of being heard, your manager smirks. Don't take it so personally, you're too sensitive. Or in a relationship, you notice a subtle change in your partner's behavior, a coldness, a distance. You ask gently, and the reply? You're imagining things, you're just sensitive. The tactic is the same, turning your ability to notice into a flaw. What was once your radar for danger suddenly becomes the reason you're ridiculed. Yet, history shows us the truth. Think of whistleblowers who were mocked as paranoid, until billion-dollar scandals were exposed. Think of wives who sensed betrayal long before evidence appeared, dismissed as overreacting, only to be proven right months later. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." Sensitivity is not weakness. It is the raw material of awareness. And awareness, when paired with calm reason, is unshakable strength. So, how does the Stoic respond? Not with anger, not with frantic defense, but with stillness and clarity. Look at them and say, being sensitive is not a weakness. It means I see clearly. Does that make you uncomfortable? One question, delivered calmly, without haste. And suddenly, the power shifts. Because here is the secret manipulators hope you never learn. Those who value honesty will never shame your awareness. Only those with something to hide fear it. So the next time someone tries to silence you with, "Why are you so sensitive?" remember, your sensitivity is not a burden. It is the early warning system of the wise. It is your shield. And in the hands of a Stoic, it becomes unbreakable. Phrase 3. Everyone else is fine with it. At first, it sounds reasonable. If everyone else accepts it, why shouldn't you? But don't be fooled, this is not logic. This is pressure, the voice of the crowd used as a chain to bind your silence. Imagine this. In a company meeting, you raise a concern. This policy feels unfair. It could hurt employees. And your manager smiles and says, "Funny, no one else seems to have a problem with it." Or in your personal life, you refuse to follow a reckless trend, and friends laugh. Relax, everyone else is fine with it. This is the trap of conformity. It makes you believe that truth is measured by numbers, that morality can be voted on. But history teaches us the opposite. When Elon Musk announced electric cars, the world mocked him. Everyone else is fine with gasoline. When Galileo claimed the Earth revolved around the sun, he was silenced because everyone else accepted the opposite. Epictetus warned, "What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right." The Stoics knew, truth does not need the crowd. Reason stands on its own. So how does the Stoic respond? Not with apology, not with self-doubt, but with calm defiance. Say simply, "I don't measure truth by the crowd, I measure it by reason." That one line slices through the fog, because if your conviction rests on clarity, the weight of the crowd cannot crush you. Here is the secret. The crowd often follows comfort. The Stoic follows truth. And when the crowd eventually collapses, it is the Stoic who still stands, steady and unshaken. So, the next time someone says, "Everyone else is fine with it," remember, crowds can be blind, but your awareness is sight, and sight guided by reason is the mark of a free man. If this message opened your eyes, don't let it stop here. And before we move on to phrase 4, make sure to subscribe to The Stoic Habit, not for me, but for yourself, so you never miss the next lesson that sharpens your mind and strengthens your spirit. Phrase 4. Let's not dwell on the past. At first, it sounds like wisdom. It sounds like closure, like peace. But look deeper. This phrase is rarely about healing. It's about escape. Picture this. A company caught in scandal. Employees demand answers, but the leaders smile. Let's not dwell on the past. Let's focus on the future. Or a spouse exposed in betrayal. When confronted, they sigh. Why keep bringing it up? Let's just move on. On the surface, it feels like maturity, but beneath it lies avoidance. What they're truly saying is, I don't want accountability. I don't want to face the truth. I just need you too tired to keep asking. And this is how many lies survive. Not because liars outsmart the truth, but because truth seekers grow weary and give up. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Notice he never added, "unless it's inconvenient." For the Stoic, truth has no expiration date. It does not fade simply because someone begs for silence. Think of history. When Volkswagen's emissions scandal broke, executives first insisted, Let's focus on the future of clean driving. But there was no clean future until the lies were faced. Or consider Lance Armstrong when the truth of doping surfaced. His first defense was, why can't we just move forward? But healing never comes from burying the past. So how does the Stoic respond? Not with rage, not with endless argument, but with calm resolve. When someone says, let's not dwell on the past, answer simply, I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before. One line, firm, grounded, unshakable, and instantly the escape hatch slams shut. Because here is the truth. Moving on is not about speed, it's about honesty. And only when truth is faced can peace truly begin. Phrase 5. Would I ever lie to you? On the surface it sounds tender, almost wounded, as if your doubt has somehow injured them. But make no mistake, this is not a question. This is theater. Imagine this. A partner hides their phone whenever you walk into the room. One evening, you ask why. Their reply? Would I ever lie to you? Not an explanation, not evidence. Just performance designed to make you feel guilty for even asking. Or consider the workplace. A colleague avoids accountability, dodges responsibility. When pressed, they sigh dramatically. Come on, would I really lie to you? The more emotional they sound, the more they want you to silence your instincts. But history tells us otherwise. Think of Lance Armstrong. Years of denial, years of charm, years of saying, I would never cheat. And yet behind the curtain, the lie was massive. The performance of innocence was louder than the truth. Seneca gave us the rule, if it is not true, do not say it. If it is not right, do not do it. A person of integrity does not need to swear they would never lie. Their actions speak, day after day, quiet, consistent, unshakable. So how does the Stoic respond? Not with panic, not with desperate reassurance, but with calm clarity. The next time someone asks, would I ever lie to you? Pause. Let silence work. Then reply, that's not the question. The real question is, would I notice if you did? And in that instant, the mask slips. Because liars thrive in fog. They rely on your guilt to blind your judgment. But when you shine the light of reason, the fog dissolves. Remember this, honest people do not fear your questions, only liars do. And the Stoic never mistakes performance for truth. Phrase 6. Are you accusing me? It sounds like a simple question, but in truth, it's a shield. A clever move to flip the frame and put you on trial. Picture this. You notice something strange. Numbers in the report don't add up. A story from a friend doesn't quite match. You raise a cautious question. And instead of an answer, you get a sharp counterattack. Wait, are you accusing me of something? In an instant, the spotlight shifts. You are no longer the observer. You are the villain. The liar has escaped scrutiny by forcing you into defense. Think of corporate scandals. When questioned about missing funds, executives have snarled, "Are you accusing us of fraud?" The room falls silent. The pressure is back on the accuser, and the guilty walk free a little longer. Or in personal life, a partner confronted about secrecy may snap, "Are you accusing me of cheating?" And suddenly, instead of calm inquiry, you're scrambling to explain yourself. The trap has sprung. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But in Stoicism, silence does not mean surrender. It means refusing to fight on someone else's terms. It means holding the ground of reason calm, steady, unshaken. So how does the Stoic respond? Not by rushing to deny, not by stumbling into excuses, but by pausing, letting the silence hang in the air. Then, with composure, ask 3 simple words. Should I be? And in that moment, the pressure shifts back. The liar, expecting panic, is met with stillness. Their mask begins to crack. Here's the truth. Those who are innocent do not fear questions. They answer them. Those who are guilty try to turn the question back on you. So the next time you hear, "Are you accusing me?" remember, silence can be strength, and a calm question, delivered without fear, is sharper than any sword. Phrase 7. If you loved me, you wouldn't question me. At first, it sounds emotional. It sounds vulnerable, even romantic. But make no mistake, this is not love speaking. This is manipulation wearing love's mask. Picture this. A wife notices her husband hiding messages on his phone. When she asks gently, he replies with hurt in his voice. "If you loved me, you wouldn't question me." Suddenly, she feels guilty not for what he did, but for daring to notice. Or in business, an entrepreneur questions the transparency of a partner. Instead of clear answers, the partner leans in. "Don't you trust me? If we're real partners, you wouldn't doubt me." Once again, accountability is buried beneath emotional blackmail. The tactic is always the same: turning your love into a leash, convincing you that asking for honesty is betrayal, that silence is proof of devotion. But the Stoics knew better. Epictetus taught, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Real love does not demand blindness. Real trust does not fear questions. Truth and love walk side by side always. History shows us this too. Think of great leaders who demanded loyalty without accountability. They cloaked their hunger for control in the language of love, unity, or trust. And those who silenced their doubts paid the highest price. So how does the Stoic respond? Not by scrambling to reassure, not by surrendering their questions, but with calm clarity. Love and honesty walk together. If questions break us, then lies would too. One line, firm, unyielding, and suddenly the manipulator's weapon turns to dust. Because here's the truth. Love is not proven by silence. It is proven by integrity. And anyone who equates your love with your obedience is not protecting the relationship. They are protecting the lie. So the next time you hear, "If you loved me, you wouldn't question me," remember, true love never fears the light. Only deceit does. Conclusion. Now you know the 7 phrases manipulators use to silence you. Each one a trap, but you are no longer their pawn. You carry the shield of calmness and the sword of Stoic clarity. Remember, words can only wound you if you allow them. Manipulators only win when you react on their terms. The Stoic observes, the Stoic chooses, the Stoic responds with reason. If this message strengthened you, share it with someone who needs it. And join this journey. Subscribe to the Stoic Habit for more lessons that sharpen your mind. In the comments, write 3 simple words. I choose clarity. Because in a world of shadows, clarity is power.